Hi everybody and welcome to the Army Showcase. The Army Showcase is where we look at different armies from different games. In this video, we will look at an army for the Bellis Antiquitatis or DBA. DBA is an ancient rule set written by Phil Barker. In this rule set, both players bring 12 bases to the table for a game. If you are interested to know how or why this is an interesting game, let me know and I will try my best to explain DBA to you. This army is from the 3.0 version of the DBA book. This is DBA 3, Book 2/4C, Warring States Chou, 307 to 202 BC. In this army, your options for the 12 bases are 1. Heavy chariot or cavalry. 1. Heavy chariot or light horse. 2. Light horse. 3. 4. Crossbow. 4. Four-blade or 4 auxiliar. 1. Siloy. Now, this army is painted by SL. The Warring States Chou army, 307-202 BC, sits in a really interesting transitional period in Chinese military history. Right at the tail end of the Chou dynasty, the Eastern Chou, specifically the Warring States period, overlapping the rise of the Qin and eventually the Han. Chou was one of the 7 major states during the Warring States period of ancient China. The Chou dynasty lasted longer than any other dynasty in Chinese history, about 790 years. This army is the one that was raised during the Warring States period. Now, by 307 BC, the once mighty Chou dynasty had been reduced to little more than a name. 8 centuries earlier, the Chou kings had ruled a vast realm, a network of lords and states bound by loyalty, ritual, and kinship. But by the 4th century BC, that order was gone. The Chou heartland around Luoyang was now just a small pocket caught between powerful neighbors. Qin to the west, Wei and Zhao to the north, and Chu to the south. The Chou kings still claimed the mandate of heaven, but everybody knew the truth. Their armies were weak, their lands divided, and their authority ignored. The Chou army of this period was a relic, a ceremonial force, a vestige of an age where chariots thundered across plains and kings led war hosts in person. By now, the great states had reformed their militaries into massive, professional armies of infantry and crossbowmen. Qin's generals commanded hundreds and thousands of men, their weapons stamped and standardized in bronze and iron. The Chou, by contrast, could barely defend their borders. Their troops were few, drawn from the small land still loyal to the royal house. Still, the Chou kings clung to power, or at least the appearance of it. Now, King Nan of Chou struggled to survive by balancing ambitions of their stronger neighbors. Sometimes they would side with Wei, sometimes with Chu, sometimes with Qin. Anything to delay the inevitable. However, in 256 BC, the inevitable came. The state of Qin, now the dominant power of the West, invaded. The royal city of Luoyang fell, and King Nan of Chou was captured and executed. The Chou army, the oldest military tradition in China, was erased. The royal line's last remnants fled to Gong and Chengzhou, but within years, even those small enclaves were gone. It ended an era. From that moment on, the age of the feudal lords and ritual warfare gave way to the age of bureaucratic empires and total war. When Qin Shi Huang unified China in 221 BC, he carried the weapons, the tactics, and even the written language refined during the Warring States, but the ideals of the Zhou were gone. By the time the Han Dynasty emerged in 202 BC, the Zhou were a little more than a memory, their name preserved in dusty chronicles and half-forgotten bronze inscriptions. Yet, their legacy endured, the rituals, titles, and the concept of rulership, the mandate of heaven. Now, in the rules, this army plays on arable terrain, which is more or less farmland, and the base craft looks it, which is a huge yes for me. I like it when an army looks exactly as described in the rulebook. Zhou armies were considered innovative because instead of using traditional Chinese methods in warfare, they would adopt tactics of northern barbarians by using light horse instead. Now, this is reflected in the DBA rules, as the Zhou army can pick up to 3 units of light horse, while other warring states get only 1. Alright, so let's have a look at the first chariot. This is very nice looking. It's got a nice tiger motif, tiger style. Looks like tiger skin on the chariot. The choice of plume is also quite nice. It's very nice. It's very nice looking. It complements the whole model. But yeah, the coat looks really good. I mean, it looks even better up close. I mean, from a distance, you know, it looks alright, but you know, up close it looks much better. The horse sculpts are also quite good looking. And then let's have a look at the rider. Very nice, as you can see. Now the flag can be removed, right? Let me just show you. The flag can be removed to be put whatever banner you want to put, so you can actually mix and match your chariot with other armies. Just change the banner, and it's basically a printout actually. But yeah, very nice looking. So this is chariot number 1. Again, very quickly we'll look at the model, you know, in its entirety in a bit as it goes round and round. Right, so this is the other chariot. As you can see, it's done a bit differently. It looks like it's got a bear's skin on it, so it's very nice. One's tiger skin and one's bear skin. The plume done also slightly different, same but different. And then yeah, the banner can be easily interchanged with another banner. Figure looks nice. Just a minimal amount of like shading to get the eyes and the mouth and the facial features to come out quite nice. This one is a little bit more plain, if you ask me, in terms of painting. It doesn't stand out so much as opposed to the other one, the one that has the tiger skin on it. But yeah, very nice looking. Look at that. The bear skin works. Very nice looking figure. Very nice looking figure. I mean, wouldn't you like this in your army? I mean, like charging down your flanks, you know, into your enemy and stuff like that. Right, so let's have a look at one of the spears. There are four spears, but I've chosen to show you the one that's in attack mode. As you can see, he kept the colors pretty uniform. You know, not which just works because when you have like a whole unit of four bases, right, with spears, right, and they all are painted the same, you know, it's got a nice unifying feel. But these actually go up really, really, really long, really out from the base, right? So when you're actually putting them down to face off against your opponent, you gotta be a bit careful actually to make sure that this don't break off, or you know, you pretty much set it. I mean, when you're playing a game, of course you got to align the bases. I mean, this is when, you know, gamesmanship or sportsmanship, good sportsmanship is required, you know, to tell your opponent that, you know, it's not gonna sync up properly and give allowances. So yeah, this is the spearman. Very, very nice. Right, so I also want to show you the bowman or the crossbowman. As you can see, the design of the crossbow, um, it's consistent with it's historically consistent. It's historically accurate. But again, this is also painted in a regimental style. So what that basically means is they all painted the same. Look like a nice regiment. I mean, at this symbolic level, you know, it just makes the army look quite nice. But even the painting, let's gonna have a look. It's really nice and very neat, and that's very important for it to be neat and clean, especially for 15 mm, and especially if you're playing with this with DBA. As you can see over here, there's a nice design there. You know, slowly etched in. I think this is freehand. I think it looks like it's freehand. Very nice looking. I mean, it's the kind of base that when you pick up, you know, shows you more than you could see from a distance. Just very quickly, just to look at this one, I wanted to do one of each, but yeah, as you can see, a little more freehand here. Looks nice, very clean, very neat. I mean, I understand, like, you know, if you're doing historicals, you know, you want to do some weathering and stuff like that, but there's lots to be said about a nice, clean looking figure. It's very showcase, museum level painting, you know, for the army to just look pretty and nice. As you can see, the top part is also nicely shaded, so you can see there's a difference, you know, in the top bun. Nice, just small subtle details like this, which actually make the figure really stand out. Yeah, so looking at the lighthouses, all the lighthouses have the same color horse, which is interesting. It's an interesting choice, you know, to differentiate it from the army and make it look unified. Again, you know, a nice, you know, nicely done because of the detail. It looks good because of the detail. Sometimes when I see folks that, you know, come to the store and they bring their miniatures and it looks like you know, they finished it in like 20 minutes or something. And as you can see over here, this one will probably take a little while longer to do because of the black lining and the clean finish. But you know, it does work for a figure like this small. As you can see,
even from a distance, you can actually see how the color separates and stuff like that. So yeah, so this is the light horse in the army. Right, so we're going to look at some cavalry now. The horses are painted quite nicely. I mean, choosing to go with two gray horses on the outside and different looking horse tone on the inside. I mean, the figure looks like he's about to get his army to move forward a little bit, but it's all in the small bits that's being painted. Actually, it look like, for example, the ankle bits over there, and then the bottom part of the figure. Yeah, to get finishes like this, it requires a little bit more time to complete. And then by experience, a lot of folks who paint 15 mm don't put that much time. But as you can see, you put enough time into a figure, and take your time with that, right? They all turn out quite well. The horses, are also done very nicely. You can actually see the musculature in the horses, which I think is really, really nice. Really, really nice. All right, so looking closely at this figures as well, all nicely done, all very neat. I think at the end of the day, right? Always when you're painting figures that's much smaller, choose to go brighter, in the color tone or color level, because the smaller you go, the lighter it should be for you to achieve more or less the same color tone. But yeah, very nice looking. They rank up quite nicely. We'll see them, as they rank up. And then you've got the Siloy over here, which is interesting because here's a little basing thing I quite like. He put a little stone there just to fill up the negative space between the two figures, and it looks quite nice because it balances the figure out and balances the base, so it doesn't look too empty. A very small technique that's really quite effective, actually, if you ask me, when it comes to doing a base craft. A simple tip like this, a trick like this, and the base looks really good from a distance.
This arm is really attractive, and I wanted to feature it the first time I set eyes on it. I did a video for this before, and this is pretty much the update, just so I can get a much better equipment, so I can record and document this army better. I was back then, even now, taken back by the color of the army. There's just so much color. Now the method SL uses is the usual base coat, highlight and wash, using also inks and washes on the figures. But there's a very nice bright look to the army. Now in this army, the long spears count as auxilia, which is strange, but it can be swapped with the blades in your army list. So if you're in bad going, you use auxilia. If you're in good going, the blades are better. These long spears work pretty much like pikes to ward off cavalry if they can. They're also called Mao. The crossbows, because of the design, were easy to use, and when released, each could, cover about like 300 yards. This unit has the G, or the Chinese halberd, which is both spear and dagger axe, or what they would call a ge at the end of the pole. These weapons can be used with a thrusting motion or a swinging motion, which was more or less this was also more or less the end of the mass chariot period. Chariots during this period served more as command posts for officers. The chariots were massive, 4 horses pretty much means it's a very, very big target. The horses were also armored for maximum impact. And I like the painting on these of chariots. Now, if you have more to add to this army, just let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you and see if you have anything else to comment to add on to this video. Because if somebody else is watching this video, they can actually benefit from the information in the comment section. Years down the line, and I still haven't made any how-to DBA videos. Hopefully, that'll be later, next few years, I hope. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, don't forget to enjoy painting those figures.